Hello, Commander. Our intelligence have identified the enemy's breach at the position of the like button. You are now tasked to destroy this breach. The destruction of this breach will stop our enemy YouTube SBU army from reinforcing and resupplying their troops against us on the front line. Our success depends on you, Commander. Do us proud. Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 150, 23rd of July. There's not a lot have happened. Maybe it's the weekends thing. Some claim that the Russian troops actually mostly rest on the weekend. They do not do ground offensive on the weekends. So whatever. In the last summary, I mentioned about the situation with our fight with the SBU, the YouTube shadow banning unit, which we are losing. So I've started a new thing. So we have this community games at this main channel's community tab. So let me show you. So if you go to the main page, you go to click to community, you'll be able to see the post. So it works a bit like a Facebook post or Twitter. And then there will be some games, you know, the DPA YouTube Ukraine war game. So you can actually go and check it out. It's a very simple game. You'll be able to, you know, lead the forces that you prefer and then actually fight on this map. You know, so since the real war is actually very slow, we will fight our own virtual war, the DPA YouTube Ukraine war game. So it's a game, it's not real. And I will do videos on this, which you'll be able to, you know, listen to some of the stories or the things that happened in the war here at the DPA Gaming channel. So anyway, this is just something extra. I thought, you know, since the war is getting a bit boring, let's entertain ourselves. Even if you don't watch, you know, at least you can still play the games. Anyway, so down to the summary. Let's start off with missile strikes. So at the missile strikes, the Russian forces actually launched a missile strike on the Kanatovo air base. So according to the Russian Ministry of Defense, there is an attack by sea and air base missiles, which then resulted in the neutralization of aircraft of the Ukrainian Air Force. So they did not mention what are the aircraft and how many. And we actually saw this information from a Telegram channel called Military Maps. I believe they are actually pro-Russian. I believe, I'm not too sure. This is a pretty new channel that I started following, but I think they are pro-Russian. And they reported that at least 2 times Sukhoi 27 of the Ukrainian Air Force was destroyed. This is actually based on the satellite images of the airfield that was taken immediately after the strike of Caliber and X-22 missiles. So they even know what missiles was used. And they show some pictures and they can identify that they are Sukhoi 27s based on some blue dot on the map. It's actually very blur image. So it's very funny how they are able to, you know, decide that you can see, you know, the blue dots is so blur. So they kind of able to assess it, and then, you know, and they can assess that something's destroyed or something. I don't know. It's very weird. So they say that these spots are constantly moving from their parking lots, which means they are not destroyed. So they can only confirm, you know, from their own assessment, at least 2 Sukhoi 27s was destroyed. And the airbase is a bit different from what we are seeing now. There are actually additional parking lots, concrete parking lots. So anyway, that's all for this airstrike at the Kanatovo airbase. here in Kropyvnytsky. And there is a missile strike on Odessa Port. And usually I don't report on missile strikes on warehouses, but because this one hit a ship. So according to the Russian Ministry of Defense, they said that long-range sea-based missiles has destroyed a Ukrainian military ship. Again, they never specify what ship, and a depot of Harpoon anti-ship missiles delivered by the Americans to the Ukrainians. And they also mentioned that the list of destroyed targets include production facilities of an entity, which is basically a company or an organization that specializes in repairing and modernizing of the Ukrainian Navy. If there is still much of an Ukrainian Navy left, it's actually very small, negligible. And we have, according to the pro-Russian source, Ryba, they said that the ship is actually, the military ship is actually the L451 Marlin. So they cannot fully confirm this information based on their whoever that walked over to check it out. The person claimed is a L451 Marlin. So if you are not so sure about how it looks like, this is the one. You see, this is a L450. So L451 is actually exactly the same model. It looks like this. It's just a petrol ship. So that was the one that was destroyed. If you saw the video, the one that's burning, that's the ship. Then so we have the statement from Zelensky, the Ukrainian president. He said that the missile strike on Odessa, which is on the port, is a cynical one and a blow on the political position of Russia. Because if anyone still feel that they can have a dialogue with Russia, or any kind of agreement with them, just need to look at what had happened today and on that day of the missile strike. They say that the Russian caliber missiles have destroyed the very possibility for such statement. So this is another very strong response from the Ukrainian president, making future peace negotiation rather difficult using this kind of languages. And they say that we see the absolute unanimity of the world's reaction to this strike. The invaders can no longer deceive anyone. So basically, Zelensky is very, very pissed off with this missile strike, and so that's the entire picture. The Ukrainian side did not, at least based on the official statement, did not really indicate what was actually hit in Odessa. Pro-Ukrainian sources online, or the pro-Ukrainian crowd, is saying that I think warehouse for grains or something was destroyed. So, or there's another rumor saying that it's a transport ship, carrying that can carry grains. Then the most outrageous one was the ship. There's a ship that carry a HIMARS. So whatever, those are all rumors. So these are the official statements, and at least one by a very credible pro-Russian source with more specific information. So anyway, this is all we have from the Odessa front. Over at the Mykolaiv Front, a very interesting situation where the Ukraine Ministry of Defense claimed that the Russian forces bombarded Alexandrivka. However, according to our mapping and the Russian Ministry of Defense mapping, the front line is pretty far away. So there's somehow become a claim, on Alexandrivka. And surprisingly, there is, according to militaryland.net, Twitter account, they actually just posted a video dated July 19 of Russian troops at Alexandrivka itself. So that is not many days ago. That's only 5 days ago. And not that we know of any Ukrainian offensive over at Alexandrivka. And the war mapper, war_mapper on Twitter also reported that Alexandrivka is now under Russian control. So this is very belated, but probably it's because of this video, which is why he actually changed this into under Russian control. So as a result, I do not put a border. Previously, I put a border down until I saw this, and then I saw this, and I decided, okay, there won't be any dispute because this is actually correct quite strong. There is no update about the other side, all the other things over here at the Mykolaiv side. We can take a look at the latest map from the Russian Ministry of Defense. You can see the mapping here. This black dot line is the Kherson. You can see they actually pinked all the way until here. And I don't understand what is this cross with explosion. Something explode on Alexandrivka. Maybe Ukraine. Maybe it's a Ukrainian offensive. I'm not sure. Not sure what this supposed to mean. I didn't see much of this being reported on the Russian report. And then so that's that. There is no more information about this fighting over here at Davydiv Brid Front. I think the entire fighting has subsided. There's no more fighting, so I'm gonna delete this, and delete this. There is a bombardment reported at Ternivka by the Ukraine Ministry of Defense, and none of those are actually under this Russian side. And I can, based on this information, I can have a sensing that there is very high chance that the Ukrainian offense have failed over at Davydiv Brid Front, and the border is now back to where it was according to the Russian lines. But I will move this maybe later. Hopefully we will see more information on tomorrow. Moving on to the Kryvyi Rih Front. At the Kryvyi Rih Front, this encirclement thingy story has kind of been debunked. According to the one of this Ukrainian guy who was he will say a lot of stuff. I think he's some of the one propaganda guy. I cannot remember who actually denounced his own words. But ultimately, what we get from this pro-Russian source, Levi Gottman on Telegram, or Levi on Twitter, they said that what actually happened was that up to 50 Ukrainian soldiers, under the cover of mortar from 3 sides without armored vehicles, attacked a Russian position. The Russian troops withdraw, allow them to take the position, probably at Olehaine, and then the Russians bombarded the location with artillery, and then the Russian forces took back the position. So they say that this is the only offensive action, in recent days. So take that with a pinch of salt, I guess. And according to Syriac maps, they said that the Ukrainian advance at Olehaine is actually stopped by Russian artillery. So the supply road to Vysokopilia is still open, which means that this offensive at Olehaine has now entirely failed. So I will move this pointy part back, and this fighting is deleted. There's no more fighting there. Similarly, the fighting here at Vysokopilia, I don't really think it's happening anymore. Didn't really hear anything about that. However, we still do not have anyone corroborating this Rybus map where they show Dobryanka, Potomkaine, Topoline as Kenya, and Mala Shestiania as under Russian control. No one corroborated this. So, and we can actually again take a look at the Russian Ministry of Defense mapping. You can see that this is a road. There's a T junction here, and then this is the border, this pointy border, and this entire area from just off the junction with this turn of the border of Kherson, this entire area they marked it as not Russian control. And if you can remember what I just said, that location is actually here. This is the where the band is of the border, and then we have this border here. The only conceivable is that it's only until Vysokopilia, and this entire area is still under Ukrainian control. This more like likely know what is being shown over here. You can see this is aligned with this part slightly. The entire area is not. So here, aligned with this part, this entire area is not Russian control. So I'm just going to leave it there first. I'm going to see whether Ryba will actually amend their map. I think they are also somewhat having a weekend. They are reporting on things that is non-Ukrainian war related mostly today. Moving on to the Zaporizhzhia Line, I got nothing for you. And moving on to Donetsk Front. Some humanitarian information. Mariupol reportedly have water supply throughout the entire city now. So that was resumed. There is no changes and updates according to any sources. There's no known situation here. Any changes or fighting? In fact, no one reported anything. Very quiet. And similarly for Bakhmut, Sivers, even Izium Front, all the way up to Kharkiv, there is totally no information about any changes or fighting. All this information is old one. I should delete it. So I forgot about cross-border shellings. So there is cross-border shellings, though. There is cross-border shelling reported at Hrabovske, Yastrubine, below Pilia, Hudove, as well as over at Chernihiv at shelling reported. This is the 5 location that was being bombarded, reported by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry or by the Russian artillery. And outside of that, we have videos coming out of Russian troops returning from the special military operation to Crimea. The other location, there is also another video slightly earlier, was Russian troops returning from the operation to Krasnodar, which means that this might indicate that they have finished our operation maybe around 3 to 5 days ago. For them to arrive here will take a few days, I guess, by bus or something. So they might have finished our operation 3 to 5 days ago, perhaps 5 days ago, and then now we are seeing some kind of rotation. Troop rotation, perhaps. That's why we are seeing troops returning from the operation. So that might also explain maybe some of the quietness that we are seeing at the front, because my own projection is that for them to pack up and leave the front line all the way back to wherever they are supposed to go to, that will take around 1 week. So they'll pack up their bags, and by the time we reach home is 1 week later. And of course, by the time when they are packing their bags, new troops will be there on their positions, and then they will be actually handing over all the intel information, the plan, the operations, as well as the defensive positions over to the newly rotated in troops. And the rotated in troops will actually take around 1 week to get acquainted and prepared for their mission and operation. So if we are seeing those troops returning home, then we might actually see an new advances or operations by the Russian forces maybe in 1 to 3 days time. 1 to 3 days time, because after the handover, the rotating out troops leave, the rotated in troops will actually take a few days to settle in, between 3 to 5 days or even 7 days. And so we might already be 3 days in, perhaps. And I believe they will be starting a new phase of operation based on this newly rotated in troops. And also something that I also observe is that we do not hear of the Chechen forces anymore. It looks like the Chechen forces has already all rotated out, maybe for their their Haji celebrations and their Muslim holiday. So maybe that's why there's no more reports of the Chechen forces. There's also still no shutdowns reports of shutdowns of Ukrainian air assets, except for this aircraft that was destroyed on the ground. So yeah, that's the entire picture now in terms of the situation here over in Ukraine. So this is the summary for the day of 150 for the 23rd of July. And so for those that are bored or just want a brainless game, do head over to the community tab and join the fun. The Ukrainians are getting permitted, so please help out the Ukrainian side. If not, this is too one-sided, because a lot of my viewers are pro-Russia, so that make things really ugly now at the virtual war. And that's it. Okay, that's it, and I'll see you in the next update.